Today's conference, the seven bodies. To know oneself, to awaken, to be conscious is to know what you're made of, to know your inner self. That's why today we're going to be talking about these seven bodies that for many years, many cultures have left us this information telling us that we are like those Russian dolls that you open them and a body comes out, you open it and there another one comes out because we are made of these seven bodies. The first two bodies, we already have them. What we need to do is to regenerate them. The next three bodies, we have just a little part of it, okay? And the last two bodies, we already have them, but for our unconscious, we are not connected to them, okay? So, if you have ever had a dream where you're drowning and you wake up and you say, oh my god, your body, the physical body, it's not wet, right? But the astral body is wet. Many of you have already unfolded and have consciously had this experience, and you know how fast this body could go from one place to another. Okay, so we're going to be talking about each one of them, and at the end we're going to see how the practice to regenerate them and build them is done. The first one is the physical body, which is this body that we have. Okay, we must keep in mind that we are not this body, that we are a conscious, and each of those bodies has its own conscious. That this body is the vehicle for me to have a representation in this third dimension. Okay, so the purpose of this body is to reproduce the species and to regenerate itself and to continue creating the other bodies. Okay, this body works with hydrogen 48. We will be talking about that hydrogen in other conferences. Okay, but it is good to keep it in mind and start knowing what our body has. This body is already regenerated. Now, sorry, this body is already created, obviously, but we need to regenerate it. Why? Because, unfortunately, the environment, the water, the air, the food is not in the best conditions nowadays, so it has made the body to have some malfunctions. The way we are, the bad habits that we have, the problems that we keep in mind, the age, everything helps for this body to degenerate. Okay, then we have the vital body or etheric body. This second body, as its name says, it's about the vitality. It's the one that keeps this physical body alive. Okay, it takes care of all the process of feeding it, okay, to keeping it working well. So for instance, the ether has four parts, okay? That's why it says that it has an etheric nature. In these four parts that it has, the one of it is the chemical part. This is what it allows it to assimilate everything that it eats, okay? So it separates like vitamins, proteins, chemicals, okay? So that's one part. The second part of it, it's the luminous part. Here is what gives us those external sensorial perceptions, okay? The five senses. The third part is the reflector. This is what allows the body to have imagination and willingness, okay? And the fourth part is the part of reproduction, okay? That's what allows it to give life to others and to regenerate itself. At night, when we go to sleep, this body takes the different energy that it has assimilated during the day and has transformed it and puts it in each one of the energy centers that we have in order for it to have the right energy to work the next day. Okay? If you want to know more about these energy centers, remember that we already gave that conference. Okay? So you can search for it here. Sorry about that. The third body, it's the astral body. This body, it's of a molecular nature that makes it that it is very light. This body stretches like forever. Okay, this body travels at the speed of light. Okay, you have seen that in an astral unfoldment, like you're here but you want to go to Venus, you'll be there like in 3 seconds, right? And you're like really far away, but once your alarm clock sounds, you come back right away because it travels really fast. Okay, it's related with the emotional center because this body lives in the emotional world. Okay, what does this mean exactly? That we are energy, right? As energy, we have frequencies, we have vibrations. So right now, many people are talking on the phone, but we don't see of those waves. Okay, if we could see all of those frequencies around us, the radio, the router, everything, the TV, we will be like so surprised. But even though we don't connect with them, right, we connect with whatever emotions we are with. Okay, with whoever we have a frequency with. That's why even if we are far away in another country, something happens to somebody that we love, we could immediately feel that something happened to that person, right? Even if we are really far away from another person, we fall in love. Why? Because it's the emotions, are those vibrations that are sent to each one of the receptors and they communicate. Okay, this body works with fire. Okay, when it's already completed, it has power over the fire salamanders. Okay, not many people in this world have it. Okay, most of us need to create this body. The fourth body, it's the mental body. This mental body also lives in that fifth dimension, but this one is not in that emotional world. This one lives in the mental world. Okay, in this mental world, it's where the thoughts travel. So here it's like it's the world of the intellect. The difference is that a person who has already created this body doesn't have to battle with its own mind. Okay, it doesn't accept or reject anything. It just comprehends everything that it sees. It doesn't identify itself with it. Okay, it just sees it and it understands what is happening. Okay, so it's receiving information from everywhere at all time. Okay, when this body is already made, it manages the sylphs and the sylphids of the air, and its base in our physical body, well, it's here in our intellectual center. Let's see the next body. The next body is the body of causal or body of will. This body is the strongest body because will is the strength. Okay, this body allows us to take 30 minutes to determine what's going to happen in certain circumstances. Okay, because it connects itself, since it's a conscious and the other conscious, when we get to build this one, the other bodies are already made. It connects with the three brains, so it allows us to see and know and determine according to that decision what's it going to cause. That's why its name at the beginning is causal, because it knows what's going to happen if I do this, if I do that. If I tell this to this person in 10 years, it's going to make that person do this or do that. Okay, so it is a completely conscious already part of us. Okay, so that's why when we get here, when we finish creating this body, it allows us to connect with the other two. Okay, this causal body manages the ether. It is related with our motor center. Okay, it manages the energy of power. It has hydrogen 6. Okay, and it's of an electronic nature. This sixth body, it's a body that it's already created. This is the first body that we connect with when the others are already made. It's the Buddhic, or the body of consciousness. Okay, it has a magnetic nature. When we do the suprasex practice, that energy that we are transmuting goes to our pituitary gland, and it sends it to nose for it to create those internal bodies. That's the function of this body. It handles the akasha, and it's a body that we all have, but we are not connected with it. And the seventh body, it's the atomic body. Okay, this atomic body, it's a luminous photonic nature. If you have had done meditation, and you have noticed that you get to a part where everything is like deeply white, completely white, that you can hardly see, and you feel like there is so much love there, it's because we have connected with this part of our body. We have connected with this conscious. Once we connect with this conscious, it's where we experiment that besides we can feel every single part of our body and be conscious of every slight movement of every cell, of every atom, of everything. We also connect with the whole universe. There it's where we comprehend that we are one with that world, okay, with the universe itself. It's the body. This is the lowest place where our being can descend. Okay, our being, it's all we are. Okay, it's our spirit. So this is the lowest part it can come to have contact with us. Okay, how do we create these bodies? These bodies are created only through suprasex, okay, transmutation of sexual energies. This practice has let's see the steps, and then we'll talk about things to keep in mind. So to begin the practice, you're going to begin with the belly lean, which is, you already saw it, you could look it up, it's conference number 7, where it's the title, The Conjurations. It's a song that what's going to do, it's going to clean the space, and then we're going to close it with the magic circles. What's going to keep away, it's all type of negative energies. Okay, then we're going to concentrate in our heart, and we supplicate our inner Father and Divine Mother to assist us during this practice. Okay, things to keep in mind during this practice. In order for this practice to be successful, definitely there must be no orgasm. There is no ejaculation. Okay, that's how you know that the practice was successful, because as its name says, we are transmuting our sexual energy. That means that the body takes that energy, okay, and it assimilates it. Okay, it transmutes it, and is what regenerates this body and creates the other. Also, it's very important that for this practice we have a stable partner, okay, because our bodies are going to magnetize. That stable partner must be of the opposite sex, because here we're talking about alchemy, chemistry. So we need a different pole from ours. The woman has a negative pole and the man has a positive pole. So these two poles must come together in order for there to be an inner creation. What else? If you're going to separate from your partner because, like, getting divorced, because okay, things didn't work well, we must keep in mind that we must wait at least 1 year without having sex. And without having sex is literally, it's not without having super sex, no, it's without having any sexual contact with another person. What happens if I have a sexual contact with another person means that those little vessels that put this energy up, that it's called nitricita, that's going to burn, okay? And if that burns, it just won't work again. I mean, there's no way to repair it, okay? So we must wait for our next existence if we want to continue creating these bodies. Obviously, we don't want that, so we must be responsible in this practice and have a partner who understands what this is about, okay? Who at least accepts it, okay, and says, okay, you know what, I'm not into this, but I understand this is what you want. So I understand that you won't get to the orgasm, that you won't have an ejaculation, that there are parts that you're going to have to say these mantras, but I'm okay with it. Then fine, okay? But if the person definitely doesn't accept, I mean, there's nothing we can do. So you must have a stable partner that understands this, okay? Because this is a practice that has an objective, okay? It's not a practice for desire, though it causes as much pleasure as the regular sex as we know. For me as a woman, I consider this practice that it has more pleasure than the other. Why? Because the more you practice it, the longer this practice is going to be. So there are people that begin doing this practice for 20 minutes, then it goes to 45 minutes, 1 hour, hour 45. There are people that do this for 3 or 5 hours. So to have a couple with that strength, with that sexual power, it's, of course, it's wonderful for a woman, okay, for it to last so long, okay? So how is the practice done? Okay, like any sex practice, there are kisses and caresses in order for the woman to have a good lubrication, okay, and for the man to have a good erection. Then obviously you penetrate, there are movements, caresses, and everything. What's going to change here? Okay, definitely there is no orgasm and no ejaculation. So when you feel that you're close but not that close to getting to the orgasm or ejaculation, you're going to start the breathing process, okay? The breathing process has 3 stages. Each stage you should do it for 20 seconds, but everybody's body is different, okay? So some people cannot inhale for 20 seconds, retain for 20 seconds, and exhale for 20 seconds. So you could start doing it 7 seconds, okay, or 10 seconds, okay? It's up to each person. So we were in kisses, caresses, penetration, movements. Oh, okay, I'm close to feeling the orgasm. We must stop. So I let my partner know, hey, sweetie, let's go to the breathing process, okay? Still connected, we inhale through the nose. Let me just put the camera a little bit far so you can see it better. Yeah. So, breathe through your nose. The air goes into your lungs, down to your stomach, down to your sexual glands. Once you have the air there, you're going to hold that air in and visualize. Imagine a golden thread that's going to start coming from your coccyx all the way through your spinal cord, vertebra by vertebra, and it's going to go up straight here until between your eyebrows. Once it's here, we exhale with the mantra E. Again, inhale through your nose. The air goes to your lungs, down to your stomach, down to your sexual glands. Once it's there at the sexual glands, we hold that air in. Visualize a golden thread that's going to start from your coccyx, going all the way up, vertebra by vertebra, until it gets here right between your eyebrows. Once it's here, then we exhale with the mantra Ah. Again, inhale through your nose. The air goes into our lungs, down to our stomach, down to our sexual glands. Once it's there, we hold that air in and visualize a golden thread that starts going up from our coccyx all the way up, vertebra by vertebra, until it gets here to between the eyebrows. Once it's there, we're going to exhale with the mantra Oh. There we have done the practice once, right? We keep doing this as much as we can, okay? If the man starts losing erection, if the woman starts, the desire starts disappearing, then you go back to kisses and caresses, so the body gets excited again and everything, so we're back. And then we keep observing ourselves, and when we see that, again, you're close, but not too close to having the orgasm or ejaculating, go back to the breathing process, okay? How do you know that you're finished? Very easy. You could tell in men. There's no more erection and there wasn't an ejaculation. There you see that definitely the person absorbed the sexual energy and the body assimilated everything and began this process, okay? Things to keep in mind. When don't we do this practice? We do not do this practice if the woman is pregnant, if she's feeding the baby, if she has her PMS, or if one of the two is very sick, okay? Why not when she's pregnant? Because her energy in that moment, it's creating another body, so it cannot do two creations at the same time, okay? So we respect her pregnancy and you must wait for that to happen, okay? When she's breastfeeding, also, this is chemistry, this is alchemy. So what's going on? The body is in another process, okay? The body is making milk, it's taking care of everything that has to do with the baby, okay? So it's still in that creation process of the newborn. When she has her PMS, she is cleaning her sexual glands, okay? So the body is in another process, okay? So that's why there is no practice during that time. And obviously if you're too sick, well, also the body is in another process, okay? So things to keep in mind. After the practice, do not take a shower not after, before 2 hours, okay? When 2 hours have passed, so after that, you can take a shower, but not before. Why? Even though you do not feel your spine hot, it is hot because of this practice, because the energy evaporated and it went up through it. Okay, so if we take a shower, even if it's with warm water, our aura it's going to feel it, and it takes those cold air that it's there. Okay, and then that's going to make this body weaker through time. Okay, not right away, but later on through the years you're going to notice that the body becomes weak. Okay, what else? I already said that you have to have a stable partner. The place where you practice must be a place that it's very clean, very well kept. Better if it's only used for this practice, because it's like when you have a meditation room, right? The vibration and the energy that it's there, it's very specific. I mean, you could feel it when you go inside. So the same thing for this practice. Okay, it's a room where this place is going to start filling itself, fooling itself with those vibrations, with that good energy. Okay, so it's our own lab. Guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Write to us here in the comment box, in the inbox. We will be getting to you right away, and invite you to our next conference, that is how to fabricate the soul and the spirit, which has to do much with what we just saw. Okay, thank you very much, and see you next time.